Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to my little Friday night streams. If you've never been here before, hey, Emery, why do I only spill booze when I have a lot of it? Oh my God, there's nothing more dangerous than when you have like your last glass of wine, which I'm drinking white wine tonight. You have your last glass and you spill it, and you're like, oh fuck. You're like too drunk to go to the store, get more, but you're a little too sober for your own taste. Well, welcome. Did you spill anything, Emery? Are you okay? Welcome. This stream is it's a fun little Friday night thing. People kind of come in and they go, and it's very intimate. And we're all positive. We're all happy here. We're all sharing stories. It feels like an early 2000s chat room. That's what it's like. Hey, Bio Jess, Emery, because you're stressed out about how little you have. Absolutely. I was trying to clean up my table and I knocked over some wine. Oh. I'm sorry. I would say pour one out, but you already did. Hello. Hey, Nelson. How are you doing? Great to see you. Also, I like your polka dot top. Thank you. It's from Goodwill. It's silk. I'm a big advocate of Goodwill. I think I got it for $2. I will never buy anything full priced again. ASI. It is from, I think it's like name brand. I don't know. It's from somewhere. Wherever that is. I like shopping at Goodwill so that I can brag about how little I spent on something. Oh, I got this for $1. Except you do that in the wrong circles, and they're like, ew, she's poor. But I have, I don't have money, but I'm doing like as best I can. But I'm not like buying a Maserati kind of money. That's. I am so glad because last year I was in a financial place where I could live by myself before the pandemic. And I was like, what if and I was like looking at apartments and I was like, I could live by myself and I could be a big girl and I could pay for everything. Thank God I said, no, I'm going to hold off on this. I'm just like alone during a plague, like all of my money going to rent. Like I have a cheap situation here because I have roommates, which, I mean, whatever you can do. And then meanwhile, the people that came and filmed here, the landowner was just like, oh, you guys just take the money. I don't care. And I was like, this is fishy. And the landowner decided they wanted to take a lot of it. Look at that. Landlords being trash. Who would have thought? Are you still feeling lonely? No, Nelson. I think I'm like dealing with myself a lot more. I'm learning to be with myself. I'm kind of used to it. And also, I'm like talking to my roommates, which is really cool. I've learned that because of my childhood that was very chaotic, I tend to attract chaotic people. And I'm always like making excuses for them and always just like stepping on glass around my own words. And just like, well, they just had a bad day because they didn't sleep. And then now I'm like, well, I'm sitting with myself and my own thoughts. I'm like, oh, I was always friends with this person because that's what I gravitate towards. And hey, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that at all. So I just kind of stopped talking to some folks, which is cruel, but hey, you got to save yourself. You know what I mean? That's literally how my fiance is. She's a thrift witch and finds unused tags, still name brand things for nothing. Hey, Sarah and Corrigan, how are you? Man, Bio Jazz. So your wife, so you are in Iceland and she's in America, correct? If I'm trying to remember, and you haven't seen each other in a while? I feel like you can make that work. Oh man, I feel like, can she sneak over? But is Iceland just like locked borders? Like, don't come in here. Just like it's 1502 again or something. A year and 11 days and we're still strong. Well, absence make the heart grow fonder, I guess. You'll see each other, you'll hold each other, you'll talk, you'll make passionate love. That'll be nice. Isn't that fun? Everybody's in relationships now. My big ass forehead. I can't believe I used to not have bangs. Look how huge my forehead is. Should I go back to no bangs? Should I grow these out? I look crazy. Every time I get my hair cut, they always make fun of me. Every time. And I'm like, I'm here so you can make it better. Even at like the Korean place I've been going to. I mean, I haven't been there in a year, obviously, but they make fun. They're like, your hair's really dry. And I'm like, yeah, can you fix it? That's why I'm here. Okay, please. I went to one place and they refused to give me bangs. It was just like, I don't go to fancy salons because I find that they don't give you the haircut that looks good on you. They give you the haircut that's in fashion at the moment. And I went and they gave me this like shaggy 70s rock star do, which looks really cool and is in style. But on me, I just look unwashed, unkempt. I mean, I do need to get. I look like I tell riddles in the woods. Like it's getting a little too much. Shave part of your head. Get a bigger forehead. Well, she can, but we don't want to risk it for a family's sake. I mean, she can get tested. I don't know, but it's your life. It's your life. You can make it work. My ex-girlfriend was the same way. She always bent over backwards for her awful friends, and me and her worthwhile friends were pushed aside a lot. Emery, yeah, that's what happens. Like, I had this one friend, and I won't name names, but a lot of my other friends were like, she's a bad influence. She does a lot of drugs. Get away from her. And I was like, I'll never do drugs. Yeah, I'm just helping her. And I would like, at my poorest, I was giving her money. I mean, I was living in New York. I couldn't eat, but I was like, here's $5. Like, you're so hungry, get some food. And she, of course, bought drugs with it. They never buy food. And of course, then I started doing them. And thankfully, I wasn't into it, so I didn't keep it up. I was just like, ooh, this sucks. So I left, and everybody was like, get away from this relationship. And it took like years into the relationship that I was like, oh, I gotta leave. Big 2000 scene kid swoop. It's hot again. Don't question me. What's a 2000s kid scene swoop? Is that a haircut? My bangs. I cut my bangs over my sink with kitchen shears. It's also the same shears that I use to like spatchcock a chicken. I shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. We're going to come out of this with crazy haircuts, all vaccinated, ready to party with our shaved heads and loppy bangs, not giving a fuck, just unprotected sex. There's going to be a lot more of that. I mean, unprotected sex, like people were afraid of their life for a plague. You think they're going to put a condom on after this? Fuck no. The scene girl hair is the Karen cut now. Oh, Emery, you're right. It is the Karen cut because those are all the like Park Avenue girls that want to look like they're poor. That's the thing. Wealthy people, wealthy people want to look like they're poor. Poor people want to look like they're wealthy. Usually. That's why you should never, like, if you want to judge someone's wealth, like, say you're a car salesman or a bartender or something, and you're like trying to assess the money to get more out of them or to like pitch a certain drink to them, never look at what they're wearing. Look at their demeanor. Are they calm and confident? It means they probably have a little bit of money. If they just kind of sit and they know what they want. If they have, yeah, if they know what they want, that's a sign of wealth. If they're a little more indecisive, that's usually a sign of like someone that's a little like, what do I spend my money on? It has to be good. That's a sign they're definitely poor. What are other signs of wealth and poverty? A condom just masks for your penis. It is. Hey, Amanda, I used my kitchen scissors too. Yeah, I mean, it's COVID time, baby. We're using our kitchen shears to cut our bangs. We're doing what we can. Sometimes when I was cocktail serving, some of the wealthiest people would come in with sweatpants. That's another sign of wealth, is if somebody's wearing sweatpants and flip-flops and everybody around them is in suits, they're probably the CEO of the company. That's what CEOs do. They wear sweatpants, But you have to wear a suit and tie up until the day you wear the sweatpants. A condom is a mask for your penis. Yeah, we all have an unprotected sex 2021. Is that what we're doing? There's a lot of people that they don't even care about the mask. I've spoken to a few, kind of in the bar scene before we all got shut down, and they're like, I'm not wearing a mask. I was like, okay. Like, I had to force it on them just for them to sit down. I don't know. They just don't want to. I mean, it sucks. I fucking hate it. But I'll do it. Here's the thing about the mask is to like protect other people in case I'm sick, in case I have it. So if it's like protecting other people, I'll do it. But if it's just like a wear a mask for your own safety, I'd be like, go fuck yourself. I'll do it myself, you know? I do things for me. Oh boy. I'm like gaining and losing people here. I shouldn't look at the numbers. I need to not look at the numbers. Let's check Citizen. I heard some police sirens earlier. The virus is increasing. Somebody told me it's like 1 in 4 people in California have it, and that California is the highest number. Let's see about, all right, right down there, person injured in an assault. Cool. Police have received a report that a person was injured in an assault. Wonderful. There is an arsonist going around Hollywood, and they are lighting fires to all of the unhoused tent camps. Isn't that fun? There's a new fire every night. There's camps or like just shelters, like not necessarily like a government institutionalized shelter, but just kind of like a makeshift shelter. Those are being set fire to. When I was bartending, I would make fun of the anti-maskers, and it made other people like the bar more. Yeah. 1 in 40, 1 in 4 fucking hell, I'm in England, but I'm a long way from London. London is 1 in 30? Oh man. So didn't London recently have this like Christmas lockdown and then people freaked out and they all tried to leave? Right? Didn't they all try to get in their cars and boogie out of there? Because if you tell me like we're locking down and you can't leave, I'm leaving. I'm leaving immediately. I have my plan. I have my game plan. I'm going to take the subway to Union Station. And then from there, there's an Amtrak that goes to where one of my family members lives. I won't say it on the stream. But I'm going to get on that train, baby. I'm going to boogie out of here on a train. Trains are cool. I love trains. They don't even take your ID. Criminals ride them. They're like airplanes for criminals. I love it. I definitely sat next to a man because I took the train from New York to New Orleans one time. It was like 37 hours, 36, 37 hours. In case of a bug out, those aren't going to be running. Trains won't run, sorry. Shit. Well, I can walk. I'll walk east. It's that way. I'll get a little bag on my bag, and I'll just start walking. And if somebody stops me, I'll be like, oh, I'm just walking home. And I'll just keep walking. What's this like? I've looked up like walking routes. Let's see. From here to like New Orleans, how long of a walk is it? New Orleans. What do I do? For a walk, walking directions not available. Come on, you piece of shit. We'll say it's like a 4-day walk. Right? Don't go back to the haunted brothel. Train trips are fantastic, Johnny. Yes. The train crews being sit down. Oh, don't go back to the haunted. Oh, wait. I think Wicked Jim typed something and then reacted it. A crew is being sent down to prep for. What's happening? Wicked Jim, do you know something I don't know? I did see a plane fly down. There was like a military grade plane that was very hefty, very sturdy. It had like 3 power propellers on each side, and it was very quiet, which makes me think it was a very expensive plane. I don't know what they're doing. Just keep walking. Sad Incredible Hulk music starts. Last time I took an Amtrak, it was after a funeral, and I cried and drank a bottle of corked wine for 5 hours. Yeah, that's another thing, Emery. You can drink to your heart's content on an Amtrak. The bathroom's right over there. It's going to be one of these weird locked little doors, but drink all you want. You know, keep your stuff safe. I definitely had a Mac at the time when I was taking that train trip. Because I was like, I'm going to write on the train. I'm going to write my novel or whatever bullshit I was thinking. And as soon as I open up that MacBook, it's a beacon of light. And those are expensive. And people are just looking. And I'm just like, oh, shit. So I just like put that away and then dream. and I brought no entertainment with me. So I think we stopped in North Carolina, and this was after like 10 hours of just sitting and staring, which is torture. And I was like, fuck it. Because we had like a 10-minute layover, and they're like, stretch your legs 10 minutes. And I knew that there was like a little kiosk that sold stuff, or like I asked them, hey, is there somewhere I can like get a DVD? And they're like, yeah, it's over there, but I don't know if you're going to make it back. And I sprinted and I just grabbed whatever I could. I think I got like Scrooged and It's Always Sunny. And I did one of those old fashioned like run and jump on the train, right? When it was about to take off, I could have been stranded in North Carolina with my stuff on the train. How stupid. But I needed some kind of entertainment. Tall boys. Just poured a tall boy beer. Was it a C-130? Oh, we talked about that last time. C-130 is loud, apparently, because this was very quiet. Apparently, the military is coming to California to help with the vaccines. I don't know what that means. I think Dodger Stadium is going to be a vaccine hangout. They said FEMA's coming in, and I was in Katrina in New Orleans, and FEMA did not do a very good job. We were stranded, and the only solution was for you to just leave your home and go live in the camps. There's no other solution, which is basically like, if you're leaving your house, you're giving up your property, and you're going to live in these camps where they tell you to leave. They will tell you when to leave. You can't just leave a FEMA camp, because you might come back in and bring some disease or whatever back in. So you're stuck in there. FEMA camps are a prison, and they're also full of like, I think later on it was found out that they were full of something that was poisonous, like asbestos. They had asbestos in those camps, so they were just killing poor people. Do you have your cigarettes tonight? I do. I was gonna hold off on them a little bit. Sorry, the crew is towards LA to prepare the winds. Oh. The winds are coming this weekend? The winds. And the fire? FEMA just shat on New Orleans. Yes, it did. And I remember I was in the woods. And granted, it's hard to get medical supplies to the woods. But, it's the United States government, and they can fucking figure it out, right? And there's trees landing everywhere. And I remember seeing helicopters. It was like 2 weeks in. It was 2 weeks in. We had no idea if the world even knew about it, because the TVs were off, the radios were off, no communication with the outside world. I saw a helicopter flying by. Hey, help, help, help. They just kept, they didn't care. It's just George Bush in the helicopter just throwing out guns, knives. Like, they didn't, it's all a facade. They don't, it's a camp. It's where you will die. I don't know, but maybe they'll handle it differently this time. Probably not. My USA tall boy is a super tall boy, 25 ounce. Is it a Coors? Is it a Miller? And then there's another reason why I don't like standing in lines, is because during Katrina, we had to stand in lines for water, for just like a little jug of water or something. 2 hours standing in that line. I don't stand in fucking lines. If you tell me there's a hot bar over there, we all got to go to this bar, and there's a line wrapped around the corner, go fuck yourself. I'm going to a dive bar where I'll just sit my little butt on a stool and talk to some grizzly old man snorting meth. That's what I prefer. And I prefer hanging out with older people. I like drinking with older people. They have better stories and they can handle their liquor. I don't want to get drunk with some like 22-year-old. They can't handle their liquor, and their stories like, so I was on TikTok the other day. I don't care about TikTok. Crowded bars are shit anyway. You can't fucking hear anything. No, yeah, Chandler, you can't hear anything. Like when you go on a date, that's when you know the guy doesn't really care to get to know you. It's when he wants to take you to this really loud bar. So you're like, what? What's your name? What? They don't really care. You want to sit down in like an intimate space. I like the Frolic Room. Like, look up the Frolic Room in LA. Rest in peace. I hope it comes back. That's like a classic old dig from like the 70s, I think, maybe late 60s. Very, very much a dive, very much like all. Here's the thing about dive bars, like all are welcome. As long as you have kind of like a story to tell, you're welcome. Your age, your race, your gender, come on in. Tell us a story over a shot and a beer. No, we will not be making pink margaritas. It is a shot and a beer And we're going to hear about this guy's war stories all night. You want to hear about Vietnam? I do. Again, the back. My biggest fear is like somebody's going to run up. Like that guy from Get Out. He's just running, coming through here. Dive bars are the best place. Damn, I got drunk with an older U.S. man years ago in Iceland, and he was the coolest. We did many shots of bourbon, and it was the best time. Yeah, but BioJazz, you did many shots of bourbon, and I bet you got drunk, but it wasn't like, oh my God, Stephanie, she drove home and killed a guy. She passed out. This old man passed out. My neighborhood bar was be banging on rent week, dancing on the jukebox, and drinking PBRs cheaper than clubs. Absolutely, and way more fun. In New York, the best bar experiences were when it was like a snowstorm, and you'd get on your coat and you walk through some hellish landscape with snow up to your knees. It's very hard to live in New York day to day. Great to visit, hard to live. And you walk and you get there and the doors, and I open, you close it, go. And then it's like a castle, like with one block of wood, go. And then you just sit and you drink all night. And then what are the cops gonna do? It's a snowstorm. They're not out. And if they are, they're like getting people off the streets that are gonna die. Like that's their problem right now. Is like unhoused people just kind of laying on the street. They want to get them off so they don't die in the snow. So we drink till like 4 o'clock in the morning. A lot of fun. Making friends. So many relationships I don't remember. And even just like go take a nap in the corner, like a little disco nap. Let's bring disco naps back. If my buddy Paul wants to go sleep in the corner for like 10 minutes just to kind of rest his eyes and then wake up and then do some shots with us, all for it. That shouldn't be weird. Hey, thanks, Nelson. Purple. I've been into purple lately. Tybor with karaoke in a snowstorm, talk about having a good time. Hell yeah, Bad Ramen. Those are the best. I think I've been to a couple of those like towel places, and it just like it's there to be seen, which is fine. You know, if you're young and beautiful, you want to be seen. Unfortunately, youth and beauty is it's dime a dozen in California. Absolute dime a dozen. Everybody's young and beautiful. Are you older with a great personality? Not as many people here. Like that. That's a little harder to find. But unfortunately, this town is very misogynist. And once you turn about, or the entertainment industry itself, once you turn about 24, then you're put into mom roles. And then from like 25 to 42, they don't know what to do with you. So you kind of have to make your own. And then you can turn into grandmothers. But there's just no other like roles for you. But there's also a lot of other problems in Hollywood. The only time I ever got kicked out of a bar, I was taking a power nap across the street at a park. Yeah, Bad Ramen, bring back disco naps. They're not hurting anybody. They're literally closing their eyes right over there. What do you do? Kick them out? You're waking them up. Never wake somebody sleeping. Never. Let them sleep and hang out. I remember one of my roommates years ago, she was making this beautiful salad for her boyfriend. He was asleep, and she was like, should I wake him up for the salad? And I was like, no. Do not wake this man up for a salad. Let him sleep. And can you imagine that? Hey, get up. Hey, get up. Hey, I know you've had a hard day at work. I have a salad. And it was a pretty salad. You want the salad? Never trust anyone who says it's okay to wake them up. Yeah. I've never been kicked out, but I was cut off by a busser who mistook me for someone else. I asked why and told her I literally just arrived from my house, and she said, you're cut off. Oh my God. I went and ordered another beer and discovered that I was not cut off. So they mistook you for somebody else? I wonder what they did. Did they tell you what this other person did, this doppelganger of yours? Yeah, and this is a big thing. Don't wake them up. Especially for a salad? Wake me up for a steak. Don't wake me up for a salad. Here's some like wet greens to shove in your mouth. She had zero authority. It's usually people with zero authority that think they have the most authority. And also, like, middle managers are the worst. Anybody who has a slight bit of power who's been like slighted in their past, they're going to use it and they're going to flaunt it over you and they're going to make your life hell. But if you go around them to the big boss, they're probably going to be a little more copacetic because they started the company. They want to make sure you're okay. They don't want to have some like little twat dingle running things. Salad with bacon and blue cheese? Maybe Wingman. Oh, like one of those like cut the cabbage, iceberg lettuce. That's like the most non-salad. But I'll eat it. Living in the South, I always thought vegetables were fried the whole time. We would have these, and vegetables are cheaper than meat, so I'd have it all the time. But corn fritters, fried okra, fried green tomatoes, everything was fried. I just thought that's how vegetables, you don't really like. I would eat a tomato off the vine, but I would never think that that was like a meal, or to just like cut that up and like put it with some mozzarella and olive oil, and that's a meal. I'd be like, no, you fry it. You put it in the deep fryer. Me? I have dimples? Those might be wrinkles. Those might be wrinkles, Nelson. If you have a middle manager who's drunk on power, always go over the heads. Yes, Bojazz. Okra, you have to fry, otherwise you get that disgusting pre-cum goo. Yeah, Oprah does have a pre-cum goo. And Krista, do you live? You can get like frozen okra and frozen. It's not the best, but frozen vegetables are usually picked at their peak and then frozen right at their peak. So just de-throw it, and do your little station. Your egg, flour, cornmeal, boop boop boop, and then a season each, and then just fry it up. You can do that. But I also like okra stewed in tomatoes. I kind of like that slimy stuff. I also like oysters. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm not having a through line tonight. I'm just kind of freewheeling it, I guess. True, swamp seafood too. Frogs. Oh, I love frogs. Frozen okra still gets gooey. Yeah, it still gets gooey. I like mine cut real thin though. My okra cut thin. I think I was reading an article on like how the one world government wants us all to eat bugs so they can keep all their produce for themselves. And I was like, I'm never gonna eat bugs. I'm never eating worms. And I was like, oh, I love crawfish boils. That's their literal. You ever go to a crawfish boil and you just eat and eat until you get sick, and then you just look at the carcasses and you're like, these are roaches. I've just been gnawing on roach ass for like hours. And I think I remember last it was a crawfish boil. I was just going at it, and my friend was like trying to talk to me, and I think she said that I told her, "Don't talk to me. I'm eating." That's so mean. But I do that. I tend to do that. I like to eat. I eat in silence. I enjoy the food. Sometimes I'll talk a bit, but I'm not going to ask you a question right before you bite. I eat, I chow down, I love it. I want it here. I was with another friend, I was eating a burger, and every time I bring it up, she'd ask me a question. And I'm just like looking at this beautiful burger with like bacon and blue cheese. I think I still ate it and talked to her, which is also rude. But, Carl Jr. commercial, fuck you, I'm eating. Bugs aren't vegetarian. No, bugs aren't vegetarian. Amber, I think you were reading right wing propaganda. Probably. Probably. And it's very sneaky because sometimes right wingers will disguise themselves as left wingers and will say something so outrageous. You're just like, no, like it's like a psyop or something. And then what do I know? I'm just like, oh, I read and I trust everything I read. But I shouldn't. But there is a lot of like, I saw a cooking competition and the winner made some bullshit with bugs. What are you doing? Why did they win? And they were like, it is important that we learn to conserve the environment with bugs, and it's a beautiful dish. And they all ate it. I'm like, the steak wins. What the fuck? This is a beautiful steak that's sitting right with the other guy that just did this. I got really mad. I got really mad at this fake TV show. It's obviously not real. All those cooking shows, they reheat it, to be honest. They get it ready and set. Because some of those, they're like making a stew. They're making things that take hours. I'm like, how did you do that in the 30-minute time limit? I voted for Obama, but did you know Jesus was coming back? Kingdom Obama's the Antichrist. Yes. Now we have cricket protein bars and powders. I mean, I had some crickets that are like a mezcal bar, and those were fun. My little shots of mezcal and some little crickets. But I was also a mess. Like, you're supposed to sip on this mezcal because it was like fancy. And I just like did 3 shooters, and I was like, all right, crickets. Oh God, it's hard for me to just like sip on things. I tend to bite and guzzle and just ingest, like rah, like an American, I just want it. I want to feel the breasts of this food, I want to fuck it hard. That's what I want. I want to go to a crawfish boil and put that roach ass in my face and tell people not to talk to me. That's how I eat. Not this delicate. I was looking at, because sometimes I'll look at right-wing stuff just to see what's going on. What are they doing? And they did have a picture of this. They were like, the dog was, it's all about the dogs. They love these dogs, which dogs are great, but they were making this chicken. And the chicken had no seasoning on it. And I don't mean to be like white people can't season, because I don't want to be, what's that word? Boring. It's just like a thing everybody says, but it had no seasoning. And I was like, how do you expect people to like join your cause if you don't know how to cook? It was gray chicken. And they're like, Cheers to that. You did it like a true Southerner. I want to fuck it hard. Drink alcohol that is in front of me. Yeah, bad ramen. Yeah, and like a sippy. I just guzzle. I like guzzling. I want to like drink alcohol like I'm in the Wild West and I just got out of a shootout and I'm just like, whiskey. And like I slap a token on the table. Someone just pours like a bottle from some ancient dusty time and I just guzzle it back. That's what I like to drink. No, this sipping business. Yeah, bad ramen. I always like, because I heard the phrase like white people don't season, and I was always like, I kind of took offense to it, because I do. I'm from Louisiana, right? But then I went and visited my friend who lives in the Midwest, and the turkey they made, I mean, when I tell you it was still frozen when they put it in the oven for Thanksgiving. And they did 3 shakes of pepper, 2 shakes of salt, and said, that's good. And then it blew my mind. And then they like kept ordering in sandwiches, and sandwiches are expensive. You got to have the bread, you got to have the condiments, you got to have like the lettuce or the tomatoes or the pickles or whatever you want on it. And then the meat, and meat's very expensive. And they're like, we can't make a meal because it's expensive on Easter. It was like, I think it was like Easter Sunday. And I don't want to pour shame because I'm poor, or we've all been there. I don't want to pour shame, but sandwiches are more expensive than making like a chicken with potatoes. Like, go get a chicken, break it down, roast it over some potatoes. You're spending probably $15. If you want a sandwich party, you got so much more money. They spent so much more money. Mom boiled chicken and she is from Georgia. What the fuck? Oh, bad ramen. Well, you can poach a chicken. Some people poach it and put it on a salad, or like pull it apart and make a chicken salad. I don't know. Spicy mayo on that Piper's chicken sandwich. Yes. Yeah, roast chicken. You're right, Chandler. Roast chicken looks expensive. It's so incredibly cheap. Well, we're talking like $10, even for a nice bird. 15 if you want a big, large one to feed a whole family. You just gotta know how to break it down. That's it. It just takes a little knowledge. That's why poor people food is always the best. I mean, go to the South, where it's like fried catfish po' boys, even though that's a sandwich. I like gumbo, fried okra. That's always the best. Wake me up for a poached salad. Ooh, I do love heirloom chicken. Spicy mayo and mayo isn't the same, and it was also a joke, but yeah, I like the best things you can put on a good steak is salt and pepper. Yeah, with steak, I just like salt and pepper. That's it. Very simple. I want the steak to speak for itself. But with chicken, it's gotta like you gotta add stuff to it. You can't just do salt and pepper, or else it's gonna be nothing. What else was I gonna say? Oh, there was this girlfriend of mine. This was years ago, and we were driving to. I think her parents had some like summer vacation spot by the beach, and she was talking about her mom's a bitch. My mom's a bitch, and I was like, okay, all right. I mean, we're going to her place, right? And you're here, you're still alive. I guess she did something right. She's like, no, my mom's a bitch. And I was like, okay. And then we get there, and her mom, there's no snacks. Her mom's apparently like a crazy health nut. And I'm like the kind of health nut where if I want to eat something, I'm going to eat it. I'm not going to sit back and think about it. I'm going to just go for it. Ideally, day to day, I eat healthy, but if I want a fried chicken sandwich, I'm going to get it, right? There was no snacks in the house. And we're talking like a beach town, a vacation. And the whole time I was going down there, I was like, I can't wait to have a margarita on the beach. I can't wait to have a margarita on the beach. I'm on vacation from work. I took off the weekend from work to get a margarita on the beach. And she's just nodding. We get there, dry town. It's a dry town. Can you believe that? Can you believe? Like, why wouldn't you just tell me on the way up? Or tell me, like, right when I said, oh, I took off work for this. Oh, by the way, there's no alcohol there. Well, okay. Well, I'm going to go back to work then. I'm not going to this bum ass vacation. So, anyways, we get there, and the mother boils a chicken breast for her daughter and then says, this is your dinner. This is all you can eat. No seasoning, no flavoring, just a boiled chicken breast. And she's like, this is all you can eat. And I was like, can we go get like a pizza? I think we're like 23 at this point. We're growing girls. Can we get a pizza? No. Like, she looked at me like I said, can we get some heroin? I was like, can we get a pizza? Can we like go get some chips? Like, it's pretzels? And I was like, can we go to the liquor store and get some wine? And then she was like, Amber, I think you have a problem. And I was like, I think you are a bitch. I stopped talking to her. This is a bad friend. You're right. You're right, Bad Ramen. That's a bad friend. Yeah, pulled pork is so good. Pork shoulder. Oh, I almost got a pork shoulder last time. I was at the grocery. That is a real thing that is genuinely baffling that there are dry towns and counties. Yeah, yes, there's like just no alcohol sold. You have to go to the next county to buy it. So of course, like, people are spending money in the next county and then coming back and they're not. I mean, I can understand you want to like limit crime, and when people are drunk, they're going to commit more crimes. But you're just giving this other town your money, right? Like, for real, alcohol is worse than weed, realistically, but stop pretending. Yeah. Yes. You should. Yeah, I think I might get a pork shoulder next time. I'll make some pulled pork. That sounds good. But yeah, how whack is that? That I was like, took off of work for this vacation. I'm 23, and it's a dry town. What are you going to tell a 23-year-old they can't drink? What am I, Mother Teresa? No. I'm going to get blackout drunk and do some cocaine on the beach. I'm 23. I mean, not now, but at the time. Health nut with no snacks? Absolutely. Like, snacking is important. You don't want to be like weak, and now you can't work out, and now you can't. The wrong kind of health nut, the anorexic kind. You have dry towns, counties, but it's similar vibes like here in Oregon. You have to go state by state liquor store for hard liquor. No Jack Daniels at 7-Eleven. I guess I could see that if you want a dry town, like just do beer and wine, because Jack Daniels and tequila and hard alcohol is like another level of drunk. That's when you want to go like shoot ghosts. But if you're just drinking wine, you're probably gonna go pass out. Oh, bad rum is in Oregon. Plus, a lot of seasonings have health benefits. Yeah, like turmeric has health benefits. No seasoning, not at all. I remember because people often wonder like why certain bodybuilders don't season their food and they weigh out their chicken, like certain grams they're allowed to eat. Like, that sounds kind of nutty, right? But when I used to work at a gym, I was talking to a guy that was like that. And his whole philosophy was he wants to get cut in shape to get promos, to get money, to be like the what do you call it, like a power energy drink guy, and they make money being a sponsor, right? And I'm kind of talking about his childhood, and he grew up Jehovah's Witness, and when he was 16 he had premarital sex, which is kind of common, pretty young, but kind of common. He was ostracized from his own family and had to make a life for himself at 16 years old, which is too young. That's way too young. Today, I mean, I can see in like 1802, there were 16-year-olds like running for president, but it's way too young. So he had to start off in this world with a very, like, if he had to survive, be very rigid with everything. I think that's where it comes from. A do or die, black and white scenario. It's not healthy. Yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses is a cult. Absolutely. Come on, the cat's super judging me. I should be staying on my damn back, void of a cat, is super judging me. Oh, your cat? Oh, Jessica, you grew up the same? Jehovah's Witness? Or in a dry town? That's just like, that's a bad religion when you're telling parents, because kids mess up. They mess up. And if you're kicking them out of the house, granted, I don't have kids, but like kicking them out at 16 years old to start their life, they're going to end up dead. And you just killed them as a parent. And you think this is like good parenting advice? No, you like talk to them, ground them, talk, I don't know, but don't kick them out of the house at 16. That's bad. That's bad. Oh, it's already been 42 minutes. Look at that. I'm gonna have a cigarette. Bye, Jazz. I hope you feel better. Jehovah's Witness. So Jessica, you grew up Jehovah's Witness. So how was that with you? Like, I mean, I grew up Southern Baptist. I know we were very particular with how women behave. There's a lot of gender roles. I don't think my parents would have kicked me out of the house. They did say, like, if you do something that gets you in jail, we're not bailing you out. They would say that. Very restrictive. That's interesting. Like, definitely no alcohol, I'm assuming. Dancing, is that okay? Or music? Movies? Getting kicked out and moving in with grandma around 15 is a family tradition. Oh my God. There was a saying I heard, if you're a good parent, you don't have to raise your grandchildren. If you're a bad parent, you'll have to raise your grandchildren, which I think is true. Many times, there's a lot of people in my family who are just like, my son is my friend, and they're not your friend. They're your child. That's a big mistake there, because then people grow up and they don't understand authority, and oftentimes authority has guns, and they could kill you, right? I mean, I don't think that's right, but or authority is like going into a job interview on time, dressed nice, and being polite, and not like strolling and smacking gum late because they're your friend. No, they're an authority figure. So they grow up and they don't understand authority and they fuck up, and then they have a bunch of kids because dumb people love having kids, and they got to go live with grandma. So imagine like your kid's your friend, and then you're the age of like 60 and you got to raise a baby. Oh, yeah, you can drink? Oh. You're technically not supposed to drink to get drunk, though. So you can't drink to get drunk, but maybe you got drunk. Is that like an oopsie? But you can have some wine at like a party or something? I mean, I could see not wanting to drink to get drunk. That's definitely like escapism. I've definitely used in my past escaping my own inner demons that I didn't even know were there. I was just like, shut the door. It's loud in there. Just get drunk and forget about it. That was like my whole early 20s. Just like, I don't understand how, I mean, ideally, girls, they start having kids around 25. Ideal, at 25, I was a fucking maniac. Because I never dealt with the stuff from my past. I was like, it's fine. It would just like blow all of my alcohol money or all my money on alcohol at a bar in a snowstorm in New York City. And yes, it was a lot of fun. I just love that taste of this old English 40 ounce. I must not get drunk, for I am Jehovah's Witness. That's funny. I'm not drunk. My shoes are heavy. I'm not drunk. No, the world is spinning faster. That's it. Just the planet Earth. Oh, this tequila is divine. This tequila from a plastic bottle is divine. I must sip on it and savor its flavor. That's what I grew up drinking. Is just like go to Albertsons and get whatever is in a plastic bottle and then just mix it together. Do you know that the original hurricane drink is called a hurricane drink because your power is about to go out in your fridge? So you pull out all the juice you have, like when you got orange juice, pineapple juice, whatever, and then all the alcohol you have and just dump it in a bowl. It like makes no sense, and there's not really supposed to be a recipe. That's the original hurricane drink. It's just dump whatever is out of your fridge. I'm not on anyone. I've been disfellowshipped. Oh my God, Jessica. So what happened to get... So Jessica, what is disfellowshipped, and like, how did that happen? Are you okay? Are you 16 and living with your grandmother? Sorry. Disfellowship. The fact that parents could just like kick their kids out of the house as like a teenager, and then it never turns out good. I mean, the guy's lucky he boils chicken and measured it on a plate. He had to be that way, or else he'll be addicted to crack. It's like one or the other. Life becomes black and white. No. Oh. Oh, you're 32. That's very young. You're like 16 in adult years. That's a drag that they can control you and then dump you. So what does disfellowshipped mean? It just means like you're not allowed to go to church? That happened when I was 18. I left and just didn't really feel like going back. It's totally illegal to kick your child out, by the way. Yeah, Chandler, it should be. You have to protect them. Maybe I'm a Cancer, so we're very just like nurturing and loving. I'm just like, how could you? My cousin was disfellowshipped for having hickeys. He had hickeys and he got disfellowshipped. They just kicked him out. I mean, I guess like it's hard. I mean, again, I don't have kids. It must be hard having teenagers because they're gonna fuck up. That's their nature of teenagers. They want to test the waters. They want to push the boundaries. They want to see what they can get away with. But you have to do it and just like trust they're gonna be okay. Many times I'd be like, yeah, Mom, I'm gonna go sleep at Tiffany's. And meanwhile, I'm like getting drunk in a field and almost gonna die. My cousin, hurricanes sound like a middle class trash can drink. Hickeys are kind of good. You can always go back, but you can't associate with anyone while being disfellowshipped. Yeah. And also, you're right, Beb Roman. You learn best by failing. You do learn a lot of lessons. I think I made some soup the other day that sucked. I was going to do an egg drop soup, which I did the other day. It was really good. But then I put way too much vegetables and also way too much cornstarch in it. So it just looked like baby vomit. And, I learned my lesson. So everyone you grew up with you don't talk to anymore. Well, you know what? I guess fuck them. I mean, I'm sure they're nice people. I'm sure they're living their life. I don't want to trash on them. But if they don't want to talk to you because of something, then bye, I guess. I mean, there's a large part of my family I don't really chat with. They would like to chat with me, but it's just, they're just too far gone in religion. And I love religion. Like, I see God as like a way of meditation and like praying as really thinking positive about somebody, wishing someone well, also wishing the best for myself, and like looking at something that's bigger than me. But to look at it as a way of judging others and casting people out, that's actually Satanism. That's not Christianity. I've made other friends since then. Okay, good. Good, you made other friends since then. I mean, it's been hard. I mean, you're kicked out pretty young. 18? It's pretty young, especially as a girl. People are like lurching in the shadows for these 18-year-old girls. So many men, because I left home around that time, so many men. And again, lessons learned by failure that are just, and now I have like high walls because I just know I've been down that road so many times. If he brings up sex very early in the conversation, out of here, bye. He's gonna be a bad dude. If you're healthy and not completely unhappy now, then you're killing it. Yeah, I'd say so too, Emery. Am I getting sick? I'm sniffing a lot. My nose is kind of itchy. Maybe that means somebody's thinking about me. Maybe I'm sniffing. I did sneeze a couple times today, but sneezing isn't COVID. I think it's just like not even a cold. Like a too cold. Like if a cold were from 1 to 10, this would be like a 2. It's like a sniffle, but that's about it. I keep my feet warm. I wasn't kicked out. I left willingly. It was a rough time, though, honestly. I bet. And also to make that decision at 18, Jessica, to say, like, I don't want to be a part of this and go live your own life. That is a bold move you made. Congratulations. I mean, it sounds like you're doing really well. Yeah, I'm probably dry air. I've also been, like, getting some boogies, which is gross to say, but I've been getting some boogies. Allergy's been getting to me. 25 people are chatting with you, so yeah, I'd say someone is thinking about you. Yeah. Yeah, Vance. This is fun, though. I like these little Friday things. It feels intimate, where we can, like, spill the beans. Yeah, Jessica, great job. You left at 18 and went, and you're like, I'm going to do my own life. That's beautiful. It's really beautiful. We're very lucky to live in America, or those that are in the chat in America, and me as well. We're like, I was living in Louisiana, and I didn't really get along with a lot of the very traditional values of Southern Baptism. It's very gender rolled. And, like, I'm not shitting on Southern Baptism. A lot of people love it. A lot of people, it works for them. They know exactly what to wear, what to say, how to sit, what to do. I did not. I was moving around a lot. I lived in Saudi Arabia for many years before. I didn't know how to communicate. I mean, I was always getting in trouble. I was always getting, like, grounded, punished for something stupid. I wore a t-shirt with a dragon on it, and I got grounded. And I was like, this is bad. So people love it. And I'm not knocking that, but I'm very lucky to live in a place where I could say, okay, I'm just going to go like an hour that way where it's completely different. All right, thanks, bye. Because some places, if you don't get along with their rules, you're out of there, baby. You're out of there. I would say I'm content now. Love the LPN network, honestly. I do like hearing your and Ben's experience with religion. Yeah, it's interesting how it shapes you. I never thought childhood would shape you so much. I always thought it was just this thing in the past we don't talk about. And then, lo and behold, I'm like getting drunk in a bar in the blizzard. Southern Baptism is great for those who don't like those annoying things in life called nuances. Yeah, my family thinks that the world has been around for 7,000 years. Women are not allowed to speak in church. We're not allowed to wear pants. We're not allowed to wear pants in church. Some women continue that into day-to-day life. My mother would wear pants, though. My mother was also like a big feminist in the Southern Baptist Church, which would mean like she would say, I think women should be deacons. And people were like, whoa. And she's right about this. She said, I think women, they get their kids up in the morning, they get their husband up on Sunday, and they go to church. And if it wasn't for the mother unit, people would not be going to church. And if you notice, there's a lot of men, maybe men in Los Angeles been speaking to, that are not religious at all. And it's a lot of like the women that get people up and get people going to church. And I think it's because a lot of men see themselves as God, whereas women like to see it's natural to want a protector. They want a thing. They want something over you. I think that's kind of natural for a lot of women. I myself don't really ascribe to that, but again, I'm very lucky to be living in this time and this day that I'm not killed for, for thinking that. Emery, I saw your mom has recorded music. Is it good? Can we hear it sometime? Absolutely. She did some music in the 70s and like toured around, I think, the South. We would also go, when I was a kid, we would go to nursing homes, and because there's no like theaters in the South, so but she had a need to perform and a need to sing, and I think when you're a true artist you have that need and you're going to find a way to do it no matter what the obstacle, right? So she's a true artist, and she had some sheet music and props in the trunk of her car, and we would drive to a nursing home unannounced, and she would say, Amber, you get the props, I get the sheet music. And then she would just go, and they all have a piano. All these nursing homes have a piano, and she would just walk right through, walk in there, sit down, start playing. And then we had this whole act where I would sing all the dramatic songs. I was like a kid singing At Last in a nursing home, and she would sing all the funny songs. And she had a prop of like a top hat and a petticoat skirt, and then she would try to reenact like the Gone with the Wind scene where he picks her up and he says something like, I'm taking you to bed tonight or something. There's like a famous scene, I forget the words, but she would purposely pick the like weakest people. and, and the whole joke was like they're reading the script and just like, frankly, my dear, I want to take you to bed tonight. It was actually really funny. And he would like try to pick her up, and it was really funny. And at the beginning, so we would start playing and singing, and nobody would show up. But then people would slowly start wheeling in. They slowly start wheeling in, and they pull together, and then, a crowd would form. And in the beginning of the show, people would just kind of sit in their chair, in their wheelchairs, and just kind of clap. And then you get the feist in them, and then people would stand up out of their wheelchairs and just like dance a little, as much, not like boogie down, but just like dance as much as they could. It was really wonderful. And she would say, Amber, people treat the elderly like they're these sort of weak things, but actually they've been here longer than all of us. They've seen it all. They're stronger than all of us. We should stop treating them like frail, oh, mommy, Mima. Mima's got to put together her birdhouses of popsicle sticks. No, in fact, elderly people they say the most raunchy jokes. They love raunchy jokes. In fact, they have like nursing homes at the highest rate of STDs in any one concentrated community because they just suck and fuck all day. I saw your mom. Oh, the weakest people is the great choice because they need the most uplifting. Yeah, they do need the most uplifting. Yeah, nursing homes do have a specific smell. It's a lot of pee. It's a lot of urine. It's not a job that nurses generally want to do. Not a lot of people are like, I want to go work in nursing homes for the rest of my life. It's a dirty job. Somebody's got to do it. You got to turn people for bed sores. You got to change their bags, their colostomy bags. You got to feed them. It's really hard work, and they should be. Nurses in nursing homes should be. The good ones should be uplifted. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't give a shit, and they're just there for a paycheck, and that kind of sucks. But the entertainment in nursing homes, I mean, send in there's a reason why Don Rickles has a huge elderly following. They love roasting and dirty talk, being mean, kind of jabbing at you a little bit. They're feisty. Older people are feisty. They're not these fragile birdhouse building. Until they talk about the time they lynched Jehovah's Witness. Whoa. Bleach and candy. Yeah, Werther's Originals. When I delivered food to the cancer ward, it always smelled like piss and chicken soup. Yeah, that's another thing, hospital food. Hospital food has to be... There's a reason they don't serve a lot of vegetables in hospitals. Is because a lot of leafy greens have a little bug in them. So you have to wash leafy greens really, really good. Like your kale or your Swiss chard or whatever. They're really good for you, but there's a little bug that lives in them. And if you ingest that bug, it's going to make you sicker than if you ate raw meat. You're going to get food poisoning out the wazoo. Literally, humans as they age begin to decay and smell similar to that base element of smelling rotting fruit. Oh my god. I don't want to be that way. A woman at my grandma's nursing home accused her of hooking up with one of the cooks who was 24. I mean, get that pussy. Get that pussy. Okay, I kind of like hospital food. Fans. Well, do you like, what, like canned peaches? You like canned peaches and cottage cheese? It's good for you, I guess. Grannies need loving too. You don't just become magically celibate at a certain age and probably, in fact, get horny. Your grandma has needs. Your grandma wants to get some deep dick in. Dopep. No ageism in our America. No ageism. It's all you can eat, and I've had some decent burgers and a ton of ice cream. Really? So hospital food is all you can eat? I thought you had to like pay per plate or something. I don't know. I mean, I wish I could give like hospital people some gumbo, but I'd probably make them sick. If you've been like on an IV drip for months and just kind of like getting your substance that way, no way are you going to be okay after a heaping bowl of gumbo, like sausage and chicken stewed and fat. You're going to fucking die. I think there was a story. There's this dude long time ago, and I don't remember if it was like the 1700s or the 1500s. You know, it's all the same at this point, but it's not. But you know what I mean. He lived to like 110 or something like wild at that time because he was a farmer. And the king found out this guy's age. He's like, "Oh my God, you've lived so long. How did you live this long?" And he's like, "Well, I'm a farmer. I get up, I see sunshine every day. I laugh, I work, I eat fresh. I eat the vegetables that I grow in my garden." And the king said, "Oh, I want to treat you. I think like frog legs were a delicacy at the time, like stewed in brown butter." And he died the next day after eating this because he's just been so used to eating everything like fresh and clean. Can you hear the cats? Order up and enjoy. It probably takes until they're home and ready to die for someone people to come and realize sex is healthy and fun and isn't shameful and gross. Well, it is gross, but it's only when it's fun. Yeah, when you queef and whatnot. Can't wait to get old to have all the sex. I'm not having it right now. No, me neither, Nelson. What's up with those 100-year-old folks who drink Coca-Colas every day? Well, Coca-Colas probably like embalm them. Do you hear these cats? Speaking of fucking, well, cats just rape each other. There's no enjoyment. I think, what is it, humans and dolphins? They only do it for fun. Everybody else is just the RAPE. The cats came out when you said pussy. A lot of wild pussies around Amber. Oh my god. Here's the thing about cats is they look like they never enjoy it when it's happening, but they like wow when they're like in heat. I don't get it. The animal kingdom is so weird. Can you hear this? I got spanked real hard as a kid because there's a cat in the background. I got spanked as a kid real hard, like with a cane, because the dog was in heat, and my mom said, "Don't lift the garage door, because if you do, dog's gonna get out, and she's gonna go have puppies." And I said, "Okay." But the thing is, when a dog is in heat, they will do anything they can to get out of that door, and I'm very empathetic, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, the dog," because the dog's freaking out and like slamming its body against the garage door to get out. So I lift it, and it leaves. And then she's like, "Where's the dog?" And I was like, "I lifted the door. Like I did exactly the thing she told me not to do." And got beat with a cane. But you know what? She's right. The dog did come back with puppies, and each generation of puppies got dumber and dumber. She was a woods dog, and the first generation of puppies were very smart, lean. They could hunt. They loved protecting the home. They never came inside. Like by the time the third or fourth generation came around, they were so fucking dumb. They were so dumb. You could like take a rock and this like throw it and be like, go get it. And it would just like look at you. What? It wouldn't. Because they were too comfortable. Not a lot of strays in Chicago. Chicago has coyotes? Maybe we just don't understand the cat orgasm. Oh, Jen. Oh, well, the cats are like over there, Jen. I think they're way over there. Yeah, maybe we don't understand the cat orgasm. I don't know. Maybe that's something science needs to look into. It's like that it's a good lesson to teach but a child, but a better way than beating them. Well, you know how it is. Has anybody ever here had a parent tell you to go pick a switch? I had that growing up. Go pick your switch. And the trick is you don't get the tiny ones because the tiny ones really hurt. And if you come back with something too tiny, like a twig, they're going to go pick a switch and they're going to make it real bad. So you go pick your switch and you got to get something like maybe that big-ish. So it's kind of like cane-ish, like a cane, which hurts, but like a tiny one is like a whip. And that hurts even more. Maybe it was the little dog though. As soon as I was... Amory, so you got whipped as soon as you was tall enough to go pick a switch? Damn. You got a hanger? Johnny, you got a hanger? Well, I guess, Johnny, do you live in the city? We live in North Hollywood. Just a classic poem. Damn. My parents were hipsters about the switch. They told me they used to have to do it before they would beat me with their most convenient belts. My father beat me with a belt one time. All the punishment was done by my mother, which I find a lot of people I speak to, it's usually the mother that gives out the punishments, the mother that gives out the spankings. That's like most people I speak to. Like, let me know in the comments if your father spanked you. My father spanked me once, and it's because I directly disobeyed him. He told me to not hang on the kitchen handle because it would break, and I did right in front of him, and the handle broke. So he whipped me with a belt. He whipped me like 3 times. It was pretty soft. But my mother would switch me. Dad? Oh. Your dad would disappear. 100% wrong. I get picked to switch too. I get embarrassed because all the neighborhood kids knew I fucked up. Yeah, because it's embarrassment. So Bad Roman did it. The dad did it. Jen did it with a mom. Vance says mom. Yes, mostly moms that give out the punishment. My mom told the story of how she learned that her dad's wide blood didn't work. My dad just called me a home. I'm sorry, Emery. Your dad called you that? That's not a good word to say. Mom would hit me when Dad was out of town. Well, good chat. It's a good chat section here. But yeah, I think it's the moms. It's a myth that motherhood is like this, painting of this polite woman in an apron. Darling, I'm vacuuming the floor. But if you had a human being burst through your body, literally crack your hips open, and you're gonna fucking beat that kid later on. Both parents, Nelson? But when I grew up, I realized moms are frequently forced to be the bad guy because dad wants to be the fun guy. Yeah, dad always wants to be the fun guy. He wants to go play football. He wants to drink the beer. He's a fun dude. My mom is cool as shit now, though. Okay, good. Interesting. Your mom is cool as shit. Yeah, parents, like, usually when you leave home, they become cool. Or cooler. Definitely when I was a kid, I was terrified of my parents. No way would I, say something directly to their face. Like, I see kids, even calling their parents by their first name. Yeah, Phil. No, never. Or, directly disobeying. Never. In front of their face. No. But, as an adult, it's a lot of oh, you're going to go to a party? That's cool. Great. Just tell me, how is it? Whoa, this was not a part of the agenda 10 years ago. But I guess they realized, they've done the parenting. Once you're 18, you're out of the house. If I call my mom a bitch, I think I'd be dead. Yeah. Yeah, we're great now. They live 3,000 miles away. My dad was a narcissist, so he had to be the best at everything. Oh, Bad Romanet makes another point is that narcissism is usually pointed towards women, when in fact, a lot of men are narcissists as well. And that's kind of like an undiscovered topic. People look at women as narcissists because we generally, we want to keep a youthful appearance. We want to like be fun at parties. We want to like, have fun stories, be a nice piece of attention and not like a boring blab. But a lot of men are very much narcissists. Nobody really talks about that. I see the shadows and I'm just like, if I call my mom bitch. Oh yeah, Jen. Yeah, I see that on shows too, where people like call their mom a bitch to their face. I would be dead. Yeah, just like you. Dead. No way. No way. Yeah, you live in a different state, so you get along now. Yeah, Donald Trump, he's a narcissist. I meet way more narcissists that are guys for sure. Yeah, Johnny. A lot of those like gym bros, which I mean, I love the gym. I like working out. I like feeling good. I like eating well. I like positive reinforcement with people and like you can do it. But there's this like gym bro culture because I used to work at gyms and it's a lot of flexing the mirror for yourself, a lot of anger towards anybody that isn't perfect looking. I mean, there are nice people at gyms, and when I worked at the front desk, if somebody was bullying you, I would always say, come and tell me immediately because they get kicked out. They get kicked out. If they're bullying you, that is not positive reinforcement. There's vanity, some serious. I worked as a loss prevention big box store. Moms were crying while they were looking for lost kid and rearing, and the dads were opposite. Oh, some moms were crying, like looking for kids, and dads were just like, yeah, the kid's gone. There's vanity. Oh, yeah, never say I hate you. There's vanity and there's some serious, yeah, interesting. I think a lot of men are being narcissist, power complex type of thing. Oh, yeah, with the people living in the walls. Yes, Brian. Yeah, it's a lot of like power and like I have all the power here and like flexing, and there's a lot of men like that in the South too, because they know, especially under that religious guise and where there's like this power structure with gender. So if a man wants to lead the relationship, I mean, I guess under your relationship goals, that's fine, but don't lead it in a way that's like purely for you. You have to think about everybody else here, and not just like I'm trying to think. There was a preacher I used to know who his wife was just like she would speak like that, and all of his sermons were about how women should behave and women need to be modest and women need to obey their men, right? And you can always tell who the preacher is by the preacher's wife. Like, is she a strong, confident woman, or is she like that? That's bad. And I would go into his house, and it was because I took piano lessons from her. It was like dogs on top of the kitchen counters, trash everywhere, filthy. Filthy. Because he was a narcissist with his own life. Like, he could kind of care less about anybody else. So that's why their house went to ruin. If you want to know a lot about somebody, go check out their bathroom. Is it full of shit? Is it wet? Is it trashy? That's probably who they are. Amber, could you spot bullying easily at the gym? Um, if anybody was recording somebody else, they get kicked out immediately. The worst thing, like imagine like you're trying to get your life together. You want to go to a gym, you want to work out a little bit today. Maybe you don't feel so good about yourself and you just want to go and you want to like walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes. That's all you need to do. You don't need to do some big like cardio circuit weightlifting workout. Just go walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes. That's fine. But you occasionally in Hollywood would see people filming, laughing, saying, look at this fat piece of shit, and you're out of there, buddy. And every time they would be like, why? Come on. And it was always like this big beefy dude be like, come on, I'm a membership here. And like some of the trainers would be on their side. I'm like, no, you're filming somebody. Also, that's against California state law. You're making somebody else feel uncomfortable. Go find another gym. Honestly, you seem like a gym kind of guy. I'm sure you'll find another gym. They need this gym. You're bullying people. I don't like bullying. I fucking hate it. I don't like being bullied. I've experienced it a lot. It like triggers me from when I was a kid being bullied. I hate it so much. When people are just I went to the liquor store like last week, and there was this girl who definitely had the like, you could be a farmer in those clothes kind of energy. And I still think about it and how much I hate her. And she didn't say anything outright, but you know, you can feel someone's energy. And I think she said, like, this lady is in front of me, and like looked me down like that. I want to be like, fuck you, bitch. But it's one of those like small things that like I can pick up on, but nobody else can. And if I said, fuck you, bitch, they'd be like, whoa, this, white lady's being crazy. Like, this Karen, like, film me. Jamie's here. Wait. Oh, we don't know well enough to make your bathroom look clean. I hate bullying. It's encouraged in our society starting elementary school. Yeah, people encourage bullying. They love it. Like, you bully old chap. You made fun of them. Good. I hate it. When you tear somebody down, that usually means that they have a bad home life themselves. Because you want other people to feel how you feel inside. So do you feel sad, weak, and alone? You're going to make other people feel that way. Do you feel empowered and funny and happy? You can make other people feel that way. Absolutely. I encounter that a lot at Planet Fitness. Ironically, Johnny, you encounter that a lot at Planet Fitness? It's like people pointing and making fun. That makes me so fucking mad. You should be encouraging. Yes, you did it. You did the 10-minute walk on a treadmill. Yes. That's what starts like a life change. Man, and there's also a lot of like websites I go on, again with like scrolling, but they like, it's a lot of like men posing in these beautiful forms. And granted, they look beautiful, and like the human body is beautiful no matter how you keep it, as long as you're happy. But it's a lot of like shame on people who don't live exactly as they do, and that's a no-no. I encountered a lot. I bullied back a bully in high school, and we both got suspended because I stood up to him. Good, Bad Ramen. Stand up to him. It's worth getting a suspension. Timothy 2:12 convinced me to run far fast. Hang on, and I'll post the quote. Okay. You think people would be excited someone is actually at the gym? It's a club, really? Yeah, it's another one of those like to be seen kind of clubs. I remember there was like a good looking dude, and granted, I did do crunches next to him because he's good looking, but he definitely had this disgust towards me because a woman, like, it's a big mat. It's enough for 3 people. And no, I didn't get sit right next to him. I sat like on the other side of the mat, but I could sense it. You guys, ugh. Because I was like a woman doing crunches in his vicinity. Go build a home gym, you fucking prick. I hear so much shit from Planet Fitness. They have rules that promote acceptance that all backfire. Yes, they do, Emery. To the whole point of the gym, getting in shape. The fatties at a gym should be celebrated. Yes. Celebrate. But then again, these like sort of muscular hunks, and when you have that attitude, you could be the most Fabio looking kind of dude, but when you have that entitled narcissist attitude, immediately down to a 2. I would rather fuck a fat gamer than your ass. If you have this like narcissist attitude. Do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. Oh, yeah. Corinthians. Yeah. That is, said a lot. That's said a lot in church. That's quoted. Do not permit a woman to have authority over men. Rather, she is to remain quiet. Yeah, and that's why, that quote is why women, do not speak in church. And there's so many other quotes in the Bible that I cannot name right now. that are just people just pick and choose what they want. A lot of Christians really turned me off of Christianity for years, I'll be honest. I mean, I still do consider myself one, but I think on a different scope. But I was like, I think living in Saudi Arabia, being a Christian, I looked at it as like a beautiful thing. It's like building each other up. And here's this person that built everything, that came down to live poor with everybody else. He was born in a manger, right? Isn't that beautiful? They live as everybody else. And they were tortured, and it backfired on them, and they died a horrible death, and they did it for you. And they knew, because they knew exactly all of the pain that you went through. And then I got to America, and then it was just like picking and choosing quotes from the Bible and like telling women to shut the fuck up, and a lot of holier than thou attitudes that I don't think Jesus would accept. I don't think Jesus would like that. It's a lot of like, well, did her kitchen have the right plates? Fuck that. Fuck that attitude. It made me hate, for a long time, I like hated Christianity because of that kind of attitude, that narcissism. It's a lot of narcissism. And I do think all religions attract narcissists, especially those who preach. A lot of preaching, and I think we said this before on a stream, preaching and politics, kind of the wrong kind of people get attracted to it. You should think of it as this is a lot of power I'm wielding. I have to be very careful with it. I'm too scared. That's what a lot of normal people think. But narcissists are like, oh, this is a lot of power I'm wielding. I love it. Now I get to like control people. Do you have a difficult time trusting men? A lot of stories you say involve men being assholes towards you directly or indirectly. I don't. Well, Nelson 187. Let me take a swig. I had a very good father. And I've had some very good male friends in my life. Also, Eddie is a very good male in my life. Holden's a good male. I think it's and I don't know the word for it. It's keeping a wall up until you know that they're okay, and let them in a little bit inside your castle. I guess I would say I'm a very sensitive person. That's why I keep my walls up. And I do know that men could really get in there and fuck it up. I mean, and they have in the past. And a big part of it was me letting my walls down and just like trusting this guy that was everything that I said I didn't want. And I was like, but it's okay. They really can. And I'm sure men can say that for women. The same thing. Except men can also do physical harm, which I've had. I mean, I've been raped. I didn't know I'd say that on a stream. I've said it on the brighter side before. But yeah, I do think that men generally hold a lot of power, wield a lot of authority, and the whole like, just trust a man and he'll guide you along and he'll be your leader. What if you get on the wrong boat? You know, it could be a beautiful boat. You could set sail and have wonderful adventures together. And it could be a safe, wonderful boat. But what if you get on a boat that leaks and you both die and drown in the ocean? I would rather have my own boat. You know what I mean? I'll have my own boat. We can tie these boats together if we want. But I'll be making my own money. And if there is one chance of him being violent, I will cut that tie and let that guy drown. With religions, there's really only being you and with religion, there's really only one. Sorry, can I go up? With religion, there's really only one being above you, and make one seem bigger in a smaller universe. I've hung out with Holden. Holden is a good dude. Yes. Yeah, that was a hard one for me to absorb. Man, being in the head of the house just didn't vibe with me, especially growing up with a single mom. Men are very scary. I've gotten older, I found out more and more. So many women I know have been sexually assaulted. Hardly any of us talk about it. That's okay, WJ Health. Yeah, Jen, a lot of women, I would say almost every single woman, has been assaulted in some sense, followed in some sense. Even if it's just like followed down the street and screamed at. Something as tame as that has absolutely happened. So it's very scary. And the sort of logic behind that with the religion is, well, that's going to happen with men. So you must align yourself with a man that can take you away from that and protect you from that. But that's abusive. That's abuse. Just tell them to fucking stop. You know? Yeah, and I don't like that. Yeah, raped. And it's a hard word to say, and a lot of people don't like to hear it. And I will just say R word, okay, if that makes people feel better. I don't know, but yeah, almost every woman has been. And then again, these men, they will find little cherry pick cases where a woman raped a man, and it does happen, and that's very sad, and it should not happen. And there's all these stories of like a teacher molesting a boy at school, and that's horrible because she's affected this child in a negative way, and she should go to prison. But they will cherry pick those instead of looking around them. Talk to your mothers, talk to your grandmothers. They don't want to talk about it, but I bet they have been. Absolutely bet they've been. At least like my mother was by her own father. So what do you mean I'm supposed to like just trust and like he's the leader of me and like making all of these decisions? I mean, I get like some men are very good, and again, I'm sure some boats you get on will sail to great adventures, and it is a sturdy boat. But I would rather spend the time building my own boat. Honestly, I don't want to come off as like negative or just like telling a lot of bad stories about men because I don't want to bash men. Honestly, like I've been through a lot with them, but I don't want to bash them. Hearing other people's socialization is always strange. I managed to avoid such toxic masculinity stuff. Never knew about it until I was older and started hearing other people's early life stuff. I mean, that's amazing. You started avoiding it. That's great. Oh God, older generations. I can't imagine. Yeah, Jen, older generations. They don't want to talk about it. Like therapy is a 4-letter word with any older generations. Oh, thanks, fans. Thanks, fans. I didn't say that for like any kind of like sympathy. It honestly happened a long time ago. But yeah. Every guy should set up a social media with a pic of a pretty girl. The stuff women have to deal with is mind-boggling. Yeah, I love men too. Those aren't real men. Those are confused, hurt, mean boys. You're absolutely correct. So they cherry pick their stories without realizing they, men, are said to be animals, and they have primal needs. And now women to be very wary of men. Yeah. You can be wary of men. Like any kind of story where I say like, oh, I was walking around at night and this guy was being bad. It's always met with like, why were you walking around at night? I don't know, because I'm a fucking human being that pays taxes on these streets. Because I'm a human being. Why are you walking around at night? Instead, ask, why was this guy walking around with a crowbar bashing Uber bikes and like talking about my ass? And I had to run into a Walgreens. Like, why not ask that? And not like, what do you want me? They really just want me to, and not they, because a lot of men are really good. These are very small percentage of men that they want you to hide inside your house and be very scared all day. That's all they want. They want you to be like the wife from The Shining. I don't know. That's what they want. Like that preacher's wife. And then we have the KFC. Dun, dun. Can't float home. Yeah, you have to walk home from work because you have work, you have things to do. You're a human being. I learned from an older boy, women just want to feel safe. It doesn't matter if it's a library or a bar. I wish I knew this older lady. Yeah, yeah, women just want to feel safe. That's it. And I think a lot of men are like, women want safety and men want adventure. And I'm like, yeah, we want safety because you guys fucking rape us. Like, ask any woman in the military. Ask police women. It's also rampant in the police force. Yeah, we want safety. And also, there's another thing. There's a reason women turn against each other, and there's a reason that like female genital mutilation is done by the mother to the daughter. It's done women upon women because it's to instinctually trust that you can't trust women. Put that in your seed, put that in your brain. Can't trust women and you can't trust men. So you're just this island. And an island is manipulative, manipulable, if that's a word. You can manipulate an island. You're just alone. You can't share your thoughts and secrets. When I left my ex, God bless him, he was a good guy, but when I left him, I stayed with women. I contacted all of my female relationships and also Ed, but I contacted all men offered, hey, you can stay on my couch. I was like, I'm not leaving this to go get into a worse pile of shit. I'm going to stay on a woman's couch. Okay, we're going to drink some wine and share some stories, maybe cry, maybe watch a documentary or some like reality TV. And yeah, women like reality TV. Everyone likes reality TV. It's okay. It's a way to get my brain like, like a woman was chased tonight on her way home from work. She wants to go watch some people dance in tutus, something nice for a second. Of course, dudes want to watch these war documentaries. They've been working in an office all day. They walk home safe and fine. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a man. And I have spoken to like Ed, who is a big dude, and he does say that people try to attack him because he is a big dude. And I don't want to shit on men. There's a lot of really wonderful men. My father was a great man. My brothers are great. I have 3 older brothers. They're great. There's a lot of like, when I was on dating sites, if a man messaged me about sex early on and texting, out, bye. He's going to use your body to masturbate with. A small percentage of these males hurt a huge percentage of females. Yeah, Jen, it's a very small percentage of males, but they hurt a lot of women. And women try to come out. They try to speak about it. But this, you dumb bitch, shut up. I mean, my cousin, like when we were 14, I've said this story before. He said, oh, I like playing with these little boys. They're like 6 and 9 years old. He's like, I like teaching them how to masturbate. And I was like, that's fucking weird. So I tell all the adults and they tell me to shut up and I get interrogated. I get treated like a pedophile, basically, because they don't want to deal with the fact that this prized boy did something wrong. So like I did something wrong. And then, of course, years later, he gets arrested. And then I was told to shut up and don't mention anything. Of course, I talk about it on a podcast, and which is now deleted, but the FBI has it. Because he was going across state lines and working with the government on like a national forest ranger, and he was grooming children there in the camps. And I mentioned that. I talked about it and how I've known it for years. And so, of course, this was used by the police to open up the case. And now he's in prison in Angola for the rest of his life. But I was treated like a monster for saying that. Fuck, how dare you've ruined his life. You've killed him. How does it feel to kill somebody? Again, this is another reason why I left my family pretty early on. I mean, at 14, I was told that even at 14, you've put the nail in his coffin to kill him. You've ruined his life. But, the court looked at it. So, I mean, it was a lot. It was very hard. So I can see why women don't want to talk about it. How's it going tonight? I hope you're going well. GT, I am going well. I am drinking some wine. What's been an hour 30? This is fun. Glad you said something. Yeah, Jen. I'm glad I said something too. He would have gotten I first talked about it. Nobody wanted to say anything. And in fact, I was, the demon. And I was told, you've ruined his life. How does it feel to ruin someone's life? And I felt bad because I'm 14 years old. And then, I get to an adult. It keeps going on. He does it again. He gets arrested. I talk about it again. And now it's, you've killed him. You've killed him. How does it feel to kill a man? You've killed him. It feels bad, right? Even though he's wrong, it still feels bad when your family says this to you. I think it was 32 counts of pedophilia. 32 counts. If they would have just listened to me, 32 boys would have been saved. But you don't. They don't listen. They probably make so much more you realize all those kids. All I wanted was him to stop babysitting, because he was like the local babysitter. And he's blonde haired, blue eyed. Like, people trusted him. You know, he's a really sweet looking boy. And I was like, just stop, like, getting him to babysit your kids. And they stopped. Like, I was demonized, but parents were like secretly like, well, we'll not have him babysit our kids. And when his sisters had children of their own, he would offer to change the diapers. And like, what mother wouldn't love for someone to once change their child's diaper, because they do it constantly? They'd be like, no, I got it. So they knew. They knew. They knew. Somehow his actions are growing. Yeah, and that's the thing about also these very religious communities is the actions of men are always blamed on women. Always. Always. Oh, he beat her? What did she say? What did she say to do that? Oh, this guy went on a killing spree? I bet his wife didn't give out. I bet she didn't put up. How's that fucker feel ruining a bunch of boys? 32? Yeah, and like, they're messed up now. And like, they carry this seed of nastiness that's going on and spreading it to other people. 32 counts if they would just listen to me. It's more than him being wrong. It's also him ruining his own life. Passing that blame onto you is maddening. But that's what it's like in the South. Like, but also very religious communities. Women just, again, the Corinthians quote, you don't rule over a man, you don't talk, you shut up. Even if he's molesting children, you have to shut up. And again, that's why I left. And that's why I'm very lucky to live in the United States, where I can just bop on over to the next town and be safe. I'll never understand that mentally. They ruin their own lives by being a predator. Yeah. Yeah, well, sometimes the predator in this case was a bright, young, beautiful boy who, blonde hair, blue eyes, who was very coddled as a child. And here I am, dark hair. I come from Saudi Arabia. I don't acclimate well to the society. I'm a little artsy. I'm weird. So, of course, I'm going to be the scapegoat for all of these problems. So, he does something wrong. I say something about it. You'll treat me as at the rage you would a pedophile. Because they don't want to admit, oh, this beautiful boy did something wrong. Let's put all that on her. Kind of similar to how the Hasidic community works. They just punish the perps themselves. Never works. Dude, you're Southern, so they should shut the fuck up. Yeah. So the Hasidic community, I don't really know a lot about the Hasidic community. I know my mother stayed at a hotel in Brooklyn and to come visit me, and I visited her, and it was in a Hasidic community. I think it was like a cheaper hotel or something. It was like deep in Brooklyn. And I had a headache, so I went to the local grocery, and I was like trying to find this aspirin. I was like touching around, and they're like, miss. They were like freaking out that I was even in there as soon as I walked in. Because you can't hold up signs saying like non-Jews not allowed. That would be illegal, right? But they can make you feel real uncomfortable if they want. If they want, that's their business. I had a lot of men coming up, and then of course it was like touching things. Just had to fuck you. Like, he was ruining a lot of lives. There are people out there that help non-offending pedophiles with therapies that don't hurt anyone. Yeah, Emery, that's what I wanted, essentially. Like, even at 14, I was like, what if he were to, like, go somewhere where he could get help? But then again, therapy's a 4-letter word. Like, you're not allowed to talk about your emotions, especially men. That's another thing that's very toxic in the male communities. They're not allowed to say what they're feeling. And you're a human being. You have feelings. What, are you just going to, like, go punch a lamp? You know what I mean? Like, let it build up with anxiety. You didn't see the Hasidic community when you were in New York by Williamsburg? A huge part of me not reporting was because I was a sorority at the time, and a girl would report rape by a frat boy. The entire frat would be shut down. Everyone blamed and shunned the girls? Oh my God, Jen, let me look back. A huge part of me not reporting was because I was in a sorority at the time, and a girl would report a rape by a frat boy. The entire frat would be shut down. Everyone, yeah, and they're just gonna blame the girls. Like, why were you there? Why were you drinking with those boys? Why did he rape her? And like, but boys have instincts. So you infantilize these men? Oh my God. Always the woman's fault. Yeah, Nelson, there was a Hasidic community kind of by me. They keep to themselves, and they generally see women that are not Hasidic as prostitutes. What were you wearing or drinking? Absolutely. And if you forget what you ate for breakfast that day, then your whole story is bunk and you're a liar. And granted, there are some women that lie about rape, absolutely. But then again, that's the cherry picking. I guarantee you talk to most women, they have actually been raped. What? What were you wearing? What were you wearing? When I told my mother I was raped, she put her arm around me and said, "Well, you are an alcoholic." And I didn't tell my mother. I think I told my ex at the time, and this is a big reason why we broke up, is because he visited my family and they did not get along at all. I think I married my mother essentially. I think my ex was a lot like my mother, and I told him I was raped and what happened, and then he got really drunk, and I was like, "Come to bed with me, come to bed," and he said, "No, I'm going to stay up," and he kept drinking. He ended up getting really drunk, and then like punching things and like doing snow angels in the grass, and then comes and storms in. Or no, he comes in and lays beside me. And then my mother storms in and she's like, "What were you doing?" Because I think he was like calling the rape hotline in Mississippi. So, like, of course, no one answered for hours. And he's like crying. He doesn't know what to do. He wants to help. He doesn't know what to do. And my mother storms in, "What were you doing calling the rape hotline? What were you doing calling the rape hotline?" And he just gets up out of bed and he says, "Why did you send Amber to Seattle? Why did you send Amber to Seattle?" Because I was raped in Seattle. And she said, "What? And she like backs up and he goes full force and he's screaming at my stepdad. And like, it was a bad, bad time. And then my mom was like, "What is that with Seattle?" And I sat and I told her everything. And then, of course, she puts her arm around me and says, "Well, you're an alcoholic." And I do love my mother. I think she doesn't know. It's information that's heavy and you don't know how to deal with it. And I think that was just her first instinct on how to deal with it. I don't blame her. I don't blame him. I don't blame anybody. I think people reacted to their gut instinct over a very nasty piece of information. And the fact that I had to tell my mother, and the fact that it was a big blow up, and the fact they didn't get along, I think they were like threatening remarks. That was a big. I tried to leave him. I think I was with him for a year. I tried to leave and I couldn't. Emotionally, mentally, I was also poor. Wait. Hey man, if there were true equality, then men would report more and thus have men who fake rape claims more often. Uh, yeah. I mean, wait, if there were true equality, the men would report rape more and thus have men who fake rape claims more often. Yeah, I mean, a man who's raped, that absolutely happens. They should report it and then not be like laughed at. That's not good. When they're like, especially as children, like, "Yeah, you fucked the teacher." Like, that's bad. I used to work with an intellectual disabled kid who was a serial sex offender, kept him away from other kids. He was fine, but he basically had to live in seclusion. Oh, oh my God. AG Doom. Generation, they've been shushed. Yeah, older people have been shushed since day one. There's a big, I think even the 1930s and 40s was like a very hush time. You like don't talk about it. Weird experience. So AG Dune, he had to be like completely taken away from people, like 24 hours. Been canceled an interview with a therapist who treats non-offending pedophiles. Lots to unpack, but I'm glad therapists like that exist. Absolutely, Vance. Oh, really? Nelson, you've heard his podcast? I wish no ill on him. I think he reacted a certain way to like bad information, and I hope he's doing well. Um, yeah, there's no I wish no ill on him. I really hope he's doing well. I think we're just two different people, to be honest. And it probably was a blow to him, for me to just say that out of nowhere. Yeah, what else can you do? What is it? Oh, the podcast? I think it's Get Rich Nick. I think that's it. I'm sure it's funny. He's really funny. He's done like a lot of late night spots. He's a touring comic. Like I would open for him. So I got a lot of experience on the road through him. I got to travel. I think he tried to take care of me the best he could. He's a good guy. It just didn't work out. Yeah, he only allowed contact with adults, but since it was formal care, it was basically worked out that only support staff were in his life. So he was just a repeat sex offender who was disabled. How was he disabled? Was he like in a wheelchair? Had to be removed from his family because they were the ones who taught him to do it. Rampant abuse. Oh my God. Yeah, that's usually how it is. Sex offenders were usually abused as children. I mean, why would you want to commit such awful acts unless you knew that those acts even existed? Right? That is so sad. I don't want to be sad anymore. Let's talk about something happy. Let's do like 5 or so more minutes, and let's end on something happy. And not like rape and pedophilia and someone taken away. I couldn't remember that donkey meat is officially called poopy. Oh, donkey facts. Oh man, where is donkey facts? That was a really fun. That was a really fun stream last week. We had somebody who went to a donkey show in Tijuana and they ate the tacos and they got sick. So I feel like, don't eat the tacos in Tijuana, or don't eat the tacos at a donkey show. Poopy. Yeah, don't eat the tacos at a donkey show. I feel like that's good life advice. I don't hate men. I think they're wonderful. Let's think of a fun memory of my father, a man to end on. Definitely, he would take me in his pickup truck. Yeah, don't eat a donkey show. Don't eat a donkey show, Dad. They said they had Taco Bell painted, like a hand painting on the side of the cart. Oh boy. So something fun to end on. My father, he had a pickup truck and we lived in the woods, and I would sometimes say, "Hey Dad, take me out riding." And I would grab onto the back and he would just floor it down these roads. Probably going like 35, but to me it was like flooring it. And felt the wind in my hair, and it felt like safe fun. It was great. And he would do it every time, even if he was like busy or mad. He would still get on the truck and he would take me riding. It was fun. He really showed me safety and support, and that not all men are bad. A lot of men are really great, and they work hard, and maybe text them, "Good morning, I hope you have a good day." I wonder how many times people do that to men. Just say, like, sometimes I'll say something to a man like, "You got a haircut, it looks nice," and they'll smile, and like I see them smiling all day. It's almost like no one says that to them. "Oh, that shirt looks good on you. You look good today." They smile like, "Thank you." No one ever says that. Every single, my first random advice given a bar when it's safe: don't eat tacos at the donkey show. Every single person I know complains about the day after they eat taco beef. Just stop eating it. Eat chicken or something. Yes. Wait, I might have seen him do stand-up at an old classy night out. He said some joke about an opener. I got super awkward. Oh, Jen. Maybe. I don't know. He's a funny stand-up, but I don't know. This is fun. What is it, an hour 49? This is good. I like that we're going a little bit longer, and you guys are sticking in. You're not like, fuck out of here. Oh, man, I do have to pee. But thank you for joining on my Friday night stream. We've talked about a lot of things. We revisited our donkey show from last week. We talked about rape and pedophilia. Oh, man. It wasn't not funny. I was confused. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I hope you have sweet dreams and wonderful morning. Oh, man. I like 2 hours. Yeah, I like 2 hours too, Emery. It feels good. I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know people would fucking give a shit. But this is fun. I like talking to people. We talked about religion. We talked about gender roles in religion. And also, I actually haven't even drank that much. I drank like half a bottle of wine. Bad ramen, good vibes. All right, everybody. I'm going to go pee pee. I love you all. Stay safe. Love yourself. Love yourself and treat others as you want to be treated. Remember, we all treat each other how we feel inside. So make sure you feel good inside. And then treat others the same. Treat others the same. Bye, guys. I'll see you soon.